got off the helicopters were being shot at. They got on the ground with amazing talent and tremendous patriotism, bravery.
From our members, so far, it's all 100% support for the president and the administration.
They need to tell Donald Trump that he is not the Congress and he cannot usurp the powers of Congress, that he is not a dictator, that he is a president with limited powers.
And good morning. We are continuing to cover the fallout of the U.S. capture of the Venezuela leader, Nicolas Maduro. Good morning. I'm Robin Marsh.
I'm Lacey Lowry. The country's former leader is expected in U.S. federal court today. We have the latest developments and expert analysis.
Good morning. I'm meteorologist Megan Gold. As we go into our first full week of January, things are quiet and dry, but I'm checking rain chances, also fire danger, and the chance for a few snow flurries. We'll talk about when and where your 9-day forecast is coming up.
Live from downtown Oklahoma City, Oklahoma's own News 9 starts now.
Snow flurries.
We both said it about the same time. We're like, okay, yeah, because it's going to feel like 70s, almost 80s in some part of the state today.
I know. I just love that we finally have some rain chances. Gosh, we need it.
Oh, we do. It's been bone dry out there. We say good morning, everyone. Thanks for choosing News 9. Kind of everyone back in the saddle again.
Yeah,
for
getting back in the routine.
Folks, right? Yeah.
I think so. Let's get over to the Bob Mills Weather Center and check in with Megan. Hey, Megan.
Hey, guys. Good morning. For today, we're back to feeling like springtime. We'll talk more about your forecast here in a few minutes, guys.
We're dealing with the people that just got sworn in. And don't ask me who's in charge, because I'll give you an answer and it'll be very controversial.
What does that mean?
It means we're in charge.
Venezuela facing much uncertainty this morning after their former president and wife were captured by American forces and brought here to the U.S.
Yeah, it all unfolded over the weekend. Nicolas Maduro and his wife now are expected to be arraigned in New York federal court this morning. Bradley Blackburn walks us through the developments for the day.
Venezuela's former president Nicolas Maduro is behind bars in this Brooklyn detention center. Soon, he and his wife, Celia Flores, are expected to make their first appearance in a Manhattan federal court on drug, weapons, and narco-terrorism charges.
There will be more security around him, obviously, but it will be fairly procedural.
On Saturday, the U.S. military carried out the operation that led to their capture in Venezuela's capital city of Caracas, igniting new uncertainty over the country's future.
We're in charge.
The president faced new questions Sunday over who's running Venezuela.
Venezuela right now is a dead country. We have to bring it back, and we're going to have big investments by the oil companies.
Venezuela's new interim president, former Vice President Delcy Rodriguez, issued a statement calling for peaceful coexistence. President Trump says she's cooperating, though in an interview with The Atlantic, he also warned, quote, if she doesn't do what's right, she is going to pay a very big price. As the Trump administration and Justice Department lawyers prepare for court today, there's a different reaction on Capitol Hill, with some lawmakers now slamming the Venezuela operation as illegal.
The Constitution is really pretty clear that the representatives of the people get to be consulted and ultimately approve military activity. That has not happened here.
Multiple sources familiar tell CBS News White House officials are expected to give a classified briefing to lawmakers later this afternoon. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
And Maduro and his wife are expected again in federal court. The arraignment at 11 this morning, Oklahoma time. Meanwhile, we have learned dozens of Venezuelans were killed in the weekend operation. Multiple U.S. service members were wounded, but President Trump says they are all in good shape.
Protests erupted all across the country this weekend against U.S. military involvement in Venezuela. Demonstrators gathered in Boston, Washington, D.C., Dallas, and even here in Oklahoma City.
What would happen if another country had bombed American cities and kidnapped our president and took him somewhere else? Do we have our president now committing acts of war without the consent of Congress? Because Congress has the power to declare war, not the president.
That Oklahoma man was one of just hundreds of people protesting at Skydance Bridge downtown on Saturday night. But other Oklahomans with direct ties to Venezuela tell News 9 they are optimistic about the future with Maduro out of power.
A step in the right direction. I think it's just a matter of what happens next and how it happens. I hope the people do get a choice to vote for who they want and to help run their country.
As Venezuela grapples with the leadership shift, experts are looking to see how the operation will impact broader political relations in the U.S. We know Cuba reported 32 of its citizens died in the attack. We sit down with OU professor and former war correspondent Mike Betcher. He says the big concern now is what comes next.
Well, when you have a power vacuum, and we're seeing the beginning of that right now, violence will ensue. I don't think there's an appetite to putting troops on the ground, but, things could unravel quickly there. There's a lot at stake.
Mike Betcher also says he's watching how this attack could impact global oil economies, since Venezuela is a major supplier. News 9 political analyst Scott Mitchell says what happens next could also affect Oklahoma oil prices. As of this morning, things remain unchanged.
China gets a 30% discount on the oil. If Venezuela goes for a more legitimate sort of government and the sanctions are lifting, then they're flooding the oil markets, and that means bad news for the Oklahoma economy.
So how is this playing out in our nation's capital? We're taking a live look there this Monday morning. The U.S. delegation from Oklahoma is throwing its support behind President Trump and the administration. There is some tension, though, as you can imagine, on Capitol Hill. Our Washington bureau chief, Alex Cameron, says he expects members of Congress to demand answers over the legality of the U.S. military attack.
The Constitution says that the power to engage in war is entrusted to the Congress and not to the executive. President Trump isn't the first one to get in a situation where it looks like, they have ignored that. So we'll see what happens over the next few days.
And we want to share some specific reaction from our Oklahoma delegation. Congresswoman Stephanie Bice says Maduro was an illegitimately elected dictator who killed tens of thousands of Americans by trafficking drugs with zero consequences. She says the strong actions of President Trump and our military and enforcement officers should be commended.
U.S. Senator James Langford says the Venezuelan people deserve free and fair elections and a peaceful return to freedom and prosperity. He says, thank you, President Trump, for keeping your word to stop the flow of drugs and crime into our nation. We do want to mention later this morning on News 9 at 9 a.m., Senator Langford will be live in studio talking with Lacey and me about the latest with Venezuela and the U.S. now apparently taking control of Venezuela. Don't miss our interview again at 9 a.m. this morning.
And of course, the court hearing at 11 o'clock. We are expecting to learn more details about the impact of this operation. You can follow along with our coverage throughout the day and the latest developments on news9.com.
All right. It is a busy Monday morning and weather is very calm out there.
Yeah, almost warm. Oh, goodness. Let's check in with Megan. She's in the Bob Mills Weather Center. Hey, Megan.
Hey, guys. Good morning for everybody at home. The hustle and bustle of kind of getting back into the swing of things starts today. I know a lot of kiddos go back to school tomorrow and into Wednesday. And as you go through the day today, dress in layers. This morning is cool, but by this afternoon, temperatures will be warming into the 70s. We are going to take a run at a record from 2008. Fire danger becomes a concern as we go into the afternoon as well out in western Oklahoma. But we do have rain chances on the way, much needed rain chances. We'll talk more about your 9-day forecast. It is minutes away.
And coming up, Embark is making bus rides free, but only for a limited time. How you can benefit from this new pilot program.
Also ahead, prayers going up for this little baby. She's 10 months old from Enid. She's at OU Children's Hospital fighting the flu. Her family's urgent call to the community. The story ahead. Oh, okay.
All right, your time now, 5:30. We're getting going on this Monday morning, having some coffee with you. Good morning. There's a live look on the Lucky Star Skycam network this morning. You're looking at the Broadway extension, and then you can see Devon Tower right there in the center of your screen. So we're pointing southbound, and Oklahoma is starting to wake up this morning. Now, time for your top stories.
And we'll go ahead and take a listen. Here you go.
We're dealing with the people that just got sworn in, and Don't ask me who's in charge, because I'll give you an answer and it'll be very controversial.
What does that mean?
It means we're in charge.
Former Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and his wife appear before a federal judge. They're set to do so in New York at 11 a.m. Oklahoma time today. The two were captured this weekend by U.S. forces in Venezuela. The two are being held at a detention center in Brooklyn and facing federal charges related to drug trafficking and working with gangs designated as terrorist organizations. President Trump says for now the U.S. is running Venezuela during the transition period.
Meanwhile, Oklahoma's delegation is praising President Trump for the military strike in Venezuela. Senators Markwayne Mullin and James Lankford, plus Congresswoman Stephanie Bice, say Maduro's capture is a step in the right direction for Venezuelans and keeps Americans safe from drugs traveling in. However, other lawmakers are questioning whether the attack was legal.
We do want to mention later this morning on News 9 at 9 a.m., Senator James Lankford will be live here in studio talking about the situation in Venezuela. A lot of people are fearing, could this prompt the U.S. to go into war? Don't miss that interview. We'll be asking him all the questions coming up. News 9 at 9 a.m.
All right, 5:31 on your Monday. We're trying to get you guys back into that work routine. Let's check in with Megan Gold in the Bob Mills Weather Center. Hey, Megan.
Hey, guys. Good morning. I'm trying to get myself back into it. I tell you what, it is hard to do after the holidays, right? But we're all in this thing together. Today, your full 9-day forecast is just minutes away, guys. Back to you.
The Oklahoma Highway Patrol says a weekend crash in Pottawatomie County turned deadly when a driver did not stop at a stop sign. It happened yesterday about 6 p.m. right near Tecumseh. OHP says one driver was going south on Bethel Road and did not stop at the stop sign and hit that second car that was on State Highway 9. The Highway Patrol says 19-year-old Kylie Hickerson was a passenger in the first car and died in the crash. Troopers say both drivers and 5 passengers across both cars were injured. 3 people were taken onto the hospital. And Dixon Public Schools near Ardmore is mourning the loss of 2 high school students. The district says those 2 students died in a crash over the weekend. School officials have not released any names or details about that crash. The district says counselors will be available when school begins later this week.
We have new numbers showing the results of OHP DUI checkpoints from the last month. The Oklahoma Highway Patrol says it made 129 arrests for driving under the influence. Troopers held 21 different checkpoints in December all the way through New Year's Eve. Troopers say this does not include other numerous arrests made by local law enforcement. Oklahoma City Mayor David Holt says the city's homicide numbers are going down. Holt says Oklahoma City had 74 homicides in 2025. That's down 5% from 2024. He also says the 2025 homicide rate is the city's 9th lowest since 1990. Plus, Mayor Holt says he expects that rate to go down even more once the city finalizes its population count for last year.
Well, we now know there is a memorial that's been set up on the far southwest side of the metro, the site of a crash that took the life of a Mustang high school student. Police tell us 18-year-old Evan Price lost control of his motorcycle. It was early Thursday morning, right at Southwest 35th and Sarah Road. Police say he hit the curb, then hit a utility pole. Price's family tells News 9 the high school senior actually became a father just a few days before he was killed in that motorcycle wreck. We have a link to support the family. There's a GoFundMe. You can check it all out on this story, news9.com. Mustang High School says counselors will be available for students and staff who need it when school resumes this Wednesday. A major fire at a Metro recycling center leaves a giant cloud of smoke behind. Check it out. This was near Southeast 59th and I-35 yesterday afternoon. Crews actually had to shut down part of the roadway. They tell us this is not the first time at this location.
We've been here a couple times, first time this year. Generally, it's in that containment bin. The individual from the company advised it was only about half full today, and that's where the fire started.
Firefighters worked quickly to get that out. Firefighters say no one was injured. All right, good news for commuters. You will actually be able to ride the Oklahoma City streetcar for free starting today.
Embark is kicking off its 6-month free fare program. News 9's Kylie Dedman has been looking into this. She joins us live. Kylie, how does this work for riders?
Yeah, hey guys, so starting today and for the next 6 months, Oklahoma residents and visitors can use the OKC streetcar for free. Now, back on December 5th of this past December that we just had, the Central Oklahoma Transportation and Parking Authority approved the program. Embark's public information officer says the board wanted to extend beyond their current weekend and holiday promotions and grow their rideshare. The OKC streetcar was first introduced in 2018, and Embark says staff has been actively exploring ways to improve service for the community. Now, Embark says this initiative will reinforce their commitment to offering friendly, convenient, safe, and affordable services. Now, the free program will end in 6 months, which will be July 5th of 2026. And guys, happening in just less than 10 minutes now, this streetcar right over here is about to take place. This will be the first streetcar to be used for free. There we go. We hear that. They're ready. And again, that'll be taking place in less than 10 minutes now. Reporting live, Kylie Dedman, Oklahoma's own News 9.
All aboard, Kylie. Good job. The board also looked at other big cities and compared their transportation to help come up with ideas for Oklahoma City and the metro.
5:37 on our Monday morning. Other headlines right now. The state is set to execute its first death row inmate of the year next month. And now some state lawmakers are planning to plead for the inmate's mercy. Kendrick Simpson has spent nearly 2 decades on Oklahoma death row for killing 2 men during a fight at a nightclub in the metro in 2006. The Oklahoma Attorney General, Gettner Drummond, has asked the Pardon and Parole Board to deny him clemency. But advocates alongside Senator Nikki Nice say Simpson's PTSD was a key factor they claim that was left out of the trial.
When your jurors and the people who are making those types of decisions don't receive all of the information, it makes it tougher for the families as well as those who receive the sentence.
Advocates hoping to spare the man's life will gather at the state capitol tomorrow morning. The Oklahoma Medical Research Foundation is getting more than $3 million to study genetic links to lupus. It's a chronic disease that can cause widespread inflammation and even organ damage. Scientists say the 4-year grant will help them narrow down DNA errors that they believe are catalysts for the autoimmune disease. Well, another tough night for the Oklahoma City Thunder. The team losing to the Phoenix Suns. It was kind of a close one all the way through.
Yeah, the Thunder started off really strong, actually, leading the score at the start of the second quarter. But then Thunder head coach Mark Daignault says that's when the Suns started taking advantage of Oklahoma City's mistakes.
Their run at the end of the first half was a missed opportunity for us because we obviously had really firm control of the game and then didn't have a huge score to show for it.
The Thunder lose by just 3 points. Final score 105-108. They are back at home tonight in action, hosting the Charlotte Hornets at Paycom Center. Tip-off at 7 o'clock.
All right, sounds good. We're hoping for a big Thunder win, hoping for a nice day out there weather-wise.
Oh, man, doesn't feel like January, that's for sure.
That's
Let's
right.
check in with Megan in the Bob Mills Weather Center. Hey, Megan.
Good morning. Trying to get things kicking off here as we bring in a brand new year and a brand new work week. We've got kiddos going back to school here in just a few days. And today, a great outdoor day for the kids as they celebrate their last little bit of freedom, right? There's our American Fidelity camera. If you're headed into Oklahoma City right now, you are good to go. Temperatures are running from the upper 30s, the low to mid 40s, even a few spots like Guthrie to McAllister at nearly 50 degrees this morning. That's due to some gusty south winds. It has been quite a long time since we have had a good rain. Rain in the forecast on your 9-day. We'll talk about it coming up.
Ahead on 9, the former school resource officer for Uvalde, Texas, is headed to trial after he waited more than an hour to respond to confront the gunman who killed 19 children and 2 teachers back in 2022. The update next.
This segment of News 9